Yo, what up? UFC T-Dot breakdowns. We just had ESPN Fight Night Greene versus Makhachev. Sorry, this vid's a little later than the previous ones have been. I haven't put out any kind of timeline. I'm just saying. I'm always rooting for Bobby Greene from Fontana. I'm from San Bernardino. He was born in San Bernardino. Turns out, they give you like a 45-minute backstory that they show you 8 times during the pay-per-view. Anyways, we're gonna break down this card. Start from the prelims, work up to the main event. Right off the bat, we had Victor Altamirano versus Carlos Hernandez. So Hernandez was it seemed like he was just a stronger dude, out wrestled him. Excuse me. Altamirano has a interesting style though. Throws a lot of kicks, and I mean a lot of like, oh, my camera crooked as shit. Throws a lot of kicks and from interesting angles. So he's an interesting guy to watch. Unfortunately, he lost the fight. Hernandez won by decision. And then we had Ramiz Brahimaj versus Michael Gilmore. A very quick rear naked choke for Ramiz. Next up, we had Jonathan Martinez versus Alejandro Perez. Martinez is a really, really fun striker. Kicks and hands. Right at the end of, I don't remember if it was round 1 or round 2, but right at the end of it, Perez caught Martinez with a really good right hand, just knocked down right at the one. But Martinez just outstruck him for the rest of the fight. I mean, he was in control. He was leading the pace. He outstruck him. Martinez won that fight by decision. Next up, we had Terrence McKinney versus Fares Zayam. This Terrence McKinney kid is no joke. First of all, his life story is bananas. He died a bunch of times, just like been resuscitated 3 different times or something like that. But that dude's good, man. Like every time he fights, he gets a finish. It seems like I've seen him knocking people out. Like I don't think he's made it out the first round yet. They may have made it out of the first round, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure even in this fight, he ended up getting him on the ground, got him in a rear naked choke. Terrence McKinney won that fight by rear naked choke. Next up, we had Ramona Pascal versus Josiane Nunes. Josiane Nunes has no neck. Josiane Nunes also, for a tiny, tiny, tiny little woman, throws bombs, right? And this Ramona Pascal kind of throws bombs too. So it was like they was slinging it. Let's just say that. The first round was a little bit competitive. Pascal was tasting Nunes' power and felt like, oh, I could walk through this. But then in the second round, Nunes turned it up, and Pascal wasn't as strong as she thought. But I mean, Pascal is tough. Took a lot of punishment. Nunes won that fight by decision. We got Rong Zhu versus Ignacio Bahamontes. I don't know if you like, both of these fighters are super fun and exciting fighters. Rong Zhu is just like really entertaining brawler. He's a striker, but kind of a brawling striker. Excuse me, out of China. He had pink hair at this event. And then man, my camera's all fucking crazy today. And then Ignacio Bahamontes, that dude is fun to watch. He's fun the way John Jones is fun. He's fun the way Izzy's fun. He's fun the way what's his name? O'Malley is. Like, if you just stay on the feet and let this guy manage the distance, it's gonna be a long night for you. And I don't really eat McDonald's, but their coffee is crack. This message was not brought to you by McDonald's. Ignacio Bahamontes, man, like, and what's crazy is he did this modified choke to win the fight, and it's crazy because he's like such a dynamic striker. You're not looking for that, but then he ends up choking out Zhu. I mean, he was beating him up before that. He was beating him up. Ron Zhu missed weight also by 4 pounds. Apparently, this is the second fight in a row he's missed weight. So I think if he misses weight one more time, they're gonna force him to move up in weight class. I mean, Bahamontes just outstruck him everywhere. In the second round, Ron kind of turned it up and he really came after him. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Ron has some skill. He's got a lot of heart. He hits hard as shit. But just Bahamontes was just better everywhere. The next fight we had Armin Petrosavan versus Gregory Rodriguez. This Gregory Rodriguez dude, they keep talking about his grappling and his submissions, and every time I see him fight, he just knocks people out basically. Um, he didn't knock this guy out, but I'm just saying, like, when I see him fight, he seems much more of a striker than a grappler to me. And he's a decent striker. He's a great boxer. I don't know if great's the right word, but he's a good boxer. He's a really good boxer. But this Armin Petrosavan is like, he's a really good striker. He was throwing some amazing combos, kicks. He was throwing his left high kick just kind of out of nowhere. Um, their nicknames was Superman versus RoboCop. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, Rodriguez definitely had the power advantage, but Armand seemed to be able to absorb most of his punches and just give it right back. And he was landing combos and really, really crisp leg and body kicks. Excuse me. But yeah, there was like with 38 seconds left in the fight. Uh, um, Rodriguez landed this. He tried to do a body kick, and Petro ducked down, and he hit him in the nose, blew his nose up, and then like within 20 seconds, he threw a leg kick and blew up Rodriguez's face the same way. It was crazy. Ended up going to Armand Petrosavan by split decision. To be honest with you, it was a close, really competitive, good fight. I feel like it was, in conversations for fight of the night. But also, I don't feel like it was a split decision. I feel like Armand won every single round clearly, despite how close it was, despite how competitive it was. Anyways, and then next up, strangely enough, the next fighter's name was Arman Tsvakian, right? And I'm pretty sure they're both Armenian, but the second Arman said he was from Georgia. But I'm pretty sure they're Armenian flag. And I mean, his name is Armin. I'm pretty sure both these Armins are Armenians. Also, the cornermen look like Armenian dudes. And I don't mean that in a derogatory term. I just mean they look like Armenians. If you've met an Armenian, you know what they look like. They have a people from, I shouldn't even have said this. People from Ireland look like people from Ireland. Most, not everybody, but there is a distinct phenotype from that area. So if you look like that and your name is Armin, all right. Also, the last name ends in AN, like Kardashian, you know. Anyways, Armin Tsvakian versus Joel Alvarez. This fight is against Armin is 5'7" and Alvarez is 6'3", right? I mean, you're gonna talk about a height and reach advantage. And they're in 155 pounds. To be 6'3" and 155 pounds, like how are you getting down to that weight, dude? But anyways, yeah, Armin just Dagestanned him. He just got him and put him on the ground and didn't let him get up. And then he landed this elbow made out of razor blades and glass. And Alvarez's face just exploded and blood poured out of him. Like, enough that Paul Felder was like, this match good. I'm not a doctor, so keep that in mind also. We found that out today. Paul Felder, not a doctor. He was like, I'm not a doctor, but they might stop this in between rounds the way that blood's pouring. It was like a nasty cut, like right between his eyes, and it was just pouring into his left eye. Anyways, Armin won by TKO. He's ground and pounded him out. And then next up we had Ji-Young Kim versus Priscilla Cochiera. I love Ji-Young Kim, right? So for those that don't know, I lived in Korea for like over a decade, so I always have like a special place in my heart, and I always root for Korean fighters. But like, I really like her. She reminds me of someone too. So like a friend that I had. So when I see her fight, I really always root for her. And it's so funny to watch her fight because at the beginning of the fight, she's almost like passive. Like she throws these little, just in the air, like jab, jab, left, or jab, jab, right, I mean. But like, once she starts getting hit, she gets real fierce, right? And I just love to watch her fight. And then she's really precise and she's slow. Like, she's so slow. I don't know how she lands any punches, but she's just really good timing, really good counters, really good head movement, really good foot movement, really good. She's just precise. And it's not a lot of wasted, right? Like when she's throwing a right hook, it's not because she's wildly swinging. It's because she's doing a jab, straight, hook combo like that. Like, she's really calculated, right? And Priscilla, her opponent, is actually like wild, and she hits real hard, right? And so like, and she's like, her nickname is Zombie Girl because she just walks through punches, right? Ji Young Kim has really good boxing, and so the fight literally went exactly how I thought it was going to go. It started out Priscilla was hitting her hard, or Priscilla was actually missing quite a bit, and Kim was kind of touching her up, but just barely tapping her, not really hitting her. And then at some point, Priscilla catches her with some real hard hits, and then Kim starts hitting her back, and now we get to see it. I mean, it's hard to see it with her because she's so slow, but like when she's in her element, man, like in those exchanges, her head movement, her foot movement, her placement, her positioning, like she's so skillful at not absorbing the damage. I mean, she's getting hit a lot, but she's not absorbing the damage the way it seems for the most part. But I mean, this I think this was the fight of the night. I mean, it was like down to the wire. They were both hurting each other. Like it started off a little slow, and I swear the fight was like tortoise versus the hare, because Ji Young Kim was just like do 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 do, and Priscilla's and then by the end of the fight, it was like neck and neck. Who's, you know what I mean? The judges went the decision to Priscilla Cocher. I don't know. I feel like Ji Young won, but I'm biased, right? But I do feel like she won. I feel like she controlled the distance. I feel like she controlled the ring better. I mean, definitely Priscilla was the aggressor, but I feel like she was getting pieced up. Ji Young Kim also threw some really sneaky kicks in that I think she should try more of those sneaky kicks she was throwing because they were working. But yeah, Priscilla Cochetta is like dangerous, man, because she hits hard and she can take, excuse me, a lot of damage. So be looking for her in the future. I think she might be going somewhere, and the women's divisions are not exactly deep at the top right now, because you got dominant champion Valentina and dominant champion Amanda, who have kind of cleared everything out. So now you have Pena in there with in the larger women's class. Larger, is that right? In the higher weight class for women, but Juliana is like standing on a pile of corpses that Amanda made. You get what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. There's still a bunch of different options and a bunch of different people, but Priscilla's too small to be fighting up there anyway. Number one, she's got Valentina at the top of hers, so. That whole you got to beat Valentina Shevchenko? Never mind. Oh wait, they actually might be fighting down there where Rose is at. I probably should have looked that up. Here's a secret. I'm a little high. Yeah. There was this point during that fight where the commentators were joking around, and like, so the not John Anik guy had made a joke about baseball, and Paul Fielder jokingly to Bisping was like, baseball is a sport that we sometimes play in America and other parts of the world. And Bisping was like, I know what baseball is, ha ha. And the other dude made a joke about how there's no UFC fighters who are soccer players, and Bisping, who's a British guy, got offended, and then people started tweeting him like, you wrong, there's all these different soccer players that are tough. And then Paul Fielder starts explaining what baseball is to Michael Bisping, and then they make a joke about what was the movie? The guy makes a joke about Happy Gilmore, and then it's like, do you know what that one is, Bisping? And Bisping's like, no, I haven't heard of it. And he's like, oh, you haven't? He's like, of course I haven't. He just quotes like 4 different things from the movie. I love it when Bisping allows someone to think he's dumb just to immediately throw it in their face. Hey, I don't know, it's something he does. He does it a lot. Like, he'll play along. Oh yeah, what, really? No, you fool. I live in the world. I like Bisping, man. He's a fun character. I realize half this video my head's been off, but it's because I have like these notes here, and I don't have my normal setup, so I'm looking off to the notes instead of where I normally would look, where I'm not doing anything. Nothing about this is professional. Anyways, next up we had Misha Serkinov versus Wellington Turman. Right, this Wellington Turman dude is like, he was a highly touted recruit, and then like he's winning most of his fights, but I remember seeing him lose, and I remember it being like a big derailment of his freight train. But he's a really good fighter. He's super strong. I mean, he's built like a fucking house, and I mean, he's strong, he's solid, he can wrestle, jiu-jitsu, he can strike. He's had some wars. That dude is tough. He's fighting Misha Serkinov, who's like a fucking veteran, like a damn near on legend status type veteran. And Misha, I mean, was dominating the whole fight, just controlling him. And at some point, Thurman like backpacked him, and he fought all the way through the backpack, got him off of his back. And I mean, he was on there for a long time, fighting off a choke. He had a one-handed choke where he literally had his head hidden behind his own arm. But Misha was able to get him off, get down on top, control him dominantly. Like, there was no question. And the second round starts, same thing. Misha's on top controlling, and he's going to win this fight because he's just going to control him for the entire... Oh, armbar, Thurman won. Like, I mean, that's how it happened. There was no pause. There was no setup. There was Misha doing exactly what he was doing at the end of round one. Armbar, it's over. And I mean, he got it in so quick. Misha was tapping so fast because it was so quick with so much torque. But yeah, so tournament won by armbar. Now for the main event, we got Bobby Greene versus Islam Makhachev. So you got to remember, this is at a catch weight of 160 pounds. 2 weeks notice. Bobby Greene just fought 2 weeks ago in Houston. He said his knuckles were still sore. I think he put up like 300, over 100 strikes or something like this. Bobby Greene is a warrior. He gonna show up, right? And he want that money. I ain't mad at him. Islam entertained striking for a few seconds and then went to take down. And like, I'll say this, to Bobby Greene's credit, it took Islam a long time to just get him down and in a position to go for striking or submission. Like with Dan Hooker, you get what I'm saying? Anyways, that Bobby Greene is like, even in this fight, he looked good to me because I'm expecting Islam to just bloop, right? But it wasn't like that. Bobby was really crafty in his demise because there was no way out of it. This dude is definitely Khabib too. He's scary. This Islam Makhachev, scary. I do feel like that stoppage was a little early. But I also feel like Herb Dean just saved Bobby a whole bunch of damage. So initially Bobby was kind of like, oh, why'd you stop it? But I think also Bobby was like, yo, that was less than a round. I took minimal damage and I'm getting paid again. I just got paid 2 weeks ago. So even though he was kind of complaining to Herb Dean about the stoppage, I think in the end he'll be happy that he stopped it then, because I think that's how that fight would have went. And I don't think Bobby was going to give up. So Islam would have had to have submitted him or just beaten him until it was, he's taken a whole bunch of damage. And he literally had a fight 2 weeks ago. So I think it works out best for Bobby, so to speak. And I don't think Bobby loses anything from this. Islam gains for beating Bobby. I don't think Bobby necessarily loses, because it's like, if you lose a fight to a world ender, a short notice 2 weeks after you just fought 2 weeks ago, that's not really you know what I mean? It's like when Stylebender went up and fought at light heavyweight. Like, yeah, he lost, but also anyone in his own weight division can't keep him on the ground. You know what I'm saying? All right, I think that's it. We got through it. UFC Fight Night. Greene versus Makhachev. If you made it this far, thank you. I love you. Please like, subscribe, share, notifications bell, all that good shit. UFC Breakdowns. Thanks for watching. Bye.